Stuck in the shallows, burnt and blistered. Towering matter on my mind. Diamonds on the Water is definitely the uplifting moment of the EP, kind of like the light at the end of the tunnel. This was the second song on the EP that I wrote with my friend Demi. At the time that we wrote it, I was starting to come out of the weird phase that I had been in, feeling a bit lost and directionless. I'd met some new people in my life and was making some new friends, and things generally just felt a bit more hopeful. I was starting to come into my own and starting to find myself a little bit, I guess. And when we sat down to write a song, I was telling Demi about all this stuff, and we wanted to put that into a song, something that symbolizes that hope, and that even though you might not always be able to see it, there is always hope. You're drowning. These waves might take them from you. So keep watching, keep watching. So Diamonds on the Water is definitely one of the more complicated songs production-wise on the EP. There's a lot of layers in this song, and as you can see, this is version 4. So similar to Still, there were a few different versions of it, and it definitely came a long way since the demo. Stuck in the shallows, burning blistered, and towering matter on my mind. And things have shattered into safety glass. They catch the light and turn me blind. Running through the whole song, I have this sound, which you hear at the very beginning. That was like a weird ambient pad sound mixed in with a reversed guitar at the very beginning. On top of that, we've got the guitar strum. So that's an acoustic guitar in open D tuning, I believe. Super filtered. It might actually even be open C. I don't... In the first pre-chorus, it actually switches from an acoustic guitar to an electric guitar, and it adds this driving guitar underneath it. So when we get to the chorus, we bring in this reverbed guitar with the chugging guitar underneath, and then this main guitar bit underneath as well. These strums. And underneath all those elements, I've also got this reversed guitar, which just, again, enhances the chords a little bit more. But that sound actually kind of reminds me of the start of 21 Guns by Green Day, which was one of my favorite songs growing up. It's interesting to hear that on its own. But underneath everything, it just kind of lifts the chords up a bit and kind of adds a bit of a swell between each chord change. So that's about it for guitar. Looking at the bass, same deal as the other songs on the EP. I've layered a real sounding bass with an electronic bass. The combination of those two just creates a really thick, warm bass sound. For the drums, there's a lot of layers going on here, but I've kind of condensed it all down to 2 tracks. So there's this kick part. And that runs throughout the whole song and gives it a bit of groove. And then there's a bunch of these percussion samples that I found and layered on top of each other to give a lot of movement and variety to the drum part. It sounds like this. So there's an interesting mix of claps and bongos and all sorts of instruments in there, and kind of feels, I guess, a bit chanty and hopeful just in the drums, which is interesting. And then on top of all those elements, to just really enhance the chords, I added a really bright piano, just holding each of the chords out. It sounds like this. On its own, it doesn't sound like anything special, but mixed in with everything, it really just helps give that punch to the chords. The extra bits that I have in here all just help add a little bit of spice to the mix. So we've got the background pad layer, which I mentioned at the start, that runs throughout the whole song. And underneath this, I've got some electronic synth hits, which just kind of help accent each of the chords. We have some rain in there for some extra texture. As well as these risers that come in every now and then, just little like cymbals. For the vocals, we've got the main vocal part.
There's diamonds on the water, but you're drowning, you're drowning.
Underneath that, I layered these backing vocal harmony things.
There's diamonds on the water, but you're drowning, you're drowning.
And on top of that, I've got this high octave vocal as well.
There's diamonds on the water, but you're drowning, you're drowning.
And those are pretty much all the layers in the song. On their own, they might sound a little bit weird, but at the end, everything comes together and it sounds like this.
There's diamonds on the water, but you're drowning, you're drowning. These waves might take them from you, so keep watching, keep watching. Cause you never know, this everglow might bring you home. So let it show, don't let it go, don't let it go. Cause there's diamonds on the water, so keep watching, keep watching.
So that was Diamonds on the Water. A lot of fun little elements in there which you might not have noticed in the final version, but maybe next time you listen to it, you'll be able to listen out for those. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you soon. Much love.